StartHERfive, what's going on? What's going on? Ooh, I'm proud of us. Consistency is key, and we are back, and we are here for our monthly episode. And always, you already know we like to show love to our existing tribe members. But if this is your first time listening, welcome. My name is Sable, and I have my good sis, Nisha.
Hey y'all, this is Nisha.
Hey y'all, this is Crystal.
Yes, so Nisha, Crystal, in other words, CP, and then Kayla and Grace are part of the StartHERfive. And today we have a wonderful special guest, which we will get to here in a moment. But before then, we absolutely love the feedback that we've heard from our last episode, so make sure you check that out. And our theme this season is getting 1% better. And I want to just shout us out for a second, Nisha and CP, because I really feel like we're getting 1% better, whether it is being consistent, whether it is holding each other accountable, giving each other grace, but just showing up. You know, we've had meetings where we're honest and communicating through things, and that's just life. So just 1% better in that way. And even that we're here right now with a guest speaker, which has been on our list for a while, is already in the present, in the flesh, 1% better already for this next episode. So without further ado, Nisha, take it away to introduce. Oh, I'm excited for this one. I'm excited.
This is exciting, y'all.
Yeah, I'm so excited just because this person that we invited onto the podcast is near and dear to my heart. She is my Minnesota bestie, but outside of that, she is really somebody that is inspiring to me, the way she carries herself, the professionalism that she has on social media, but the way she shows up in friendships, the way she shows up at work, and then the way that she holds others accountable to treating her. So this is just a really cool full circle for me, because as sad as it is, she's also moving away. So it was just so cool that we're also able to like highlight her in this moment for her to get her shine, because I do think she's super humble about the dope work that she does. So this is really a cool opportunity for her to talk her talk and let the people know like she does this not on occasion, but on a daily. So I would like to introduce y'all to my friend and fashion stylist, Ny'Eria Jackson. So Nye, can you just tell the people like how you got started into fashion, why you like fashion, even though they can't see you right now when the clip comes? You are the most fashionable one on this call, right?
The glasses are giving.
The glasses, the fur around the neck, the hair,
the green, just the pop. Oh yes, and the light,
and the nails. You did the nails.
Like
it was planned out. Though.
It's intentional. Now. I love it. Intentionality.
Yes, we're gonna have to drop them tips in this call because I need the jacket
now.
Okay,
for sure.
Will do. Okay, so I'm gonna switch it up. I like to pretend that I'm a YouTuber. So hi guys, welcome to the channel.
Tuned in, I'm here.
Yes. Welcome to the channel. My name is Ny'Eria Jackson. If you know me, you can call me Nye. So that means you won't be calling me Nye. But for the girls in the chat, you can do that. Hello everyone. Let's see. How did I get started? I'm just gonna isn't going to be a natural flow of an answer. So with that being said, I remember my mom saying that like her children were a representation of her. So it was important for us to dress as such. And so I want to preface that I was also, and still am, a thick girl. And so to this day, for me, fashion is like a body of armor. To one, tell you like not to play with me. But also
noted.
Growing up, it was a way for me to like fit in, which ultimately made me stand out. The other day I was talking with one of my best friends about like what it was like shopping as a kid. And I remember going to Nordstrom Rack in San Leandro. I'm from the Bay Area also, y'all. I'm from California, from the Bay. With that being said, we would go to Nordstrom Rack in San Leandro. And this was back when they had like a service bar where you would take the shoe display and you would give it to them so they can give you the mate. And I would I remember just prancing up and down the aisle as if it was my runway in two big heels. So really just owning it, and also just spending time with my grandmother. We would do we call it junking, which the girls call it thrifting. And so those moments like truly shaped my love for showing up as my best self without having to speak. And so for me, that's through fashion. And so I am a wardrobe stylist. I am also a home interior stylist. So definitely multifaceted woman here. But let's
Book her.
A few years ago when I took this passion of mine and started monetizing it. Let's start from there. Because like it's not, what's the saying? It's not on me, it's in me. So I'm just gonna fast track to when I was like, okay, like let's really go for it and like try and make this, I don't want to say a business, but essentially like a stream of income and it not feel like work. So I want to say in like 2014, no, 2015, 2016, somewhere around there was this like, and they're still around, it's called trap art. And so basically they're a collective of people that allow and amplify like creative. So whether you're a model, a makeup artist, hairstylist, DJ, you name it, this is a community that you can essentially like be a part of and showcase like your talents. And so one of my best friends, Dom, someone reached out to her to come to their casting because she is a hair and makeup artist. And she asked me essentially to like tag along with her. So as I did, I met the designer, her name is Kiera. She also goes by Kiki. She looked at me and she was like, what do you do? And I was like, I kind of like pretty much like shrunk because I'm there, but my friend that I went with, she is a hair and makeup artist. And so long story short, I connected with Kiki as her like assistant, like styling assistant. So getting the girls ready, etc. And so again, like I said, it's not going to be a normal flow, but essentially I started showing up to these events more frequently and helping with shows. And then I started doing like collabs, if you will, with different artists and different creatives. And so I essentially started building my portfolio. And just throughout, I've always been like a point of reference or point of contact when it comes to like sharing my opinion on like what my friends should wear or like where should they go and just giving my
I needed you in my life 15 years ago. Let me tell you, they know. That's why they're laughing.
Listen,
she definitely did a wardrobe call of my closet, and I said, okay, got it.
Or text you randomly at night.
I need to grow up.
Yep. What goes with this? So
Crystal's been doing that for me for years. So
and here's the thing, I've always been happy to answer. So it's never felt like a burden. I enjoy it. I'm honored. So like I said, for me, it never felt like work. And so like I said, I started doing collaborating. And then after a while, I'm gonna be honest, I was like, all right, this is a bit much. I'm noticing people want to collab. It's just like my time is money, they say. Money is time.
Correct.
And so like, right, I feel like I'm in a demand, so I can supply and also, put a dollar to it, if you will, because I truly am providing an experience, right? And so with that being said, I started getting like paid gigs. I'm gonna jump forward to like 2020. So during COVID, I had a mutual friend that connected me with one of she's my boss, but also a close friend, Germany Gerald. She has her own agency, styling agency. A friend sent out a live that she was a part of, and I love the conversation that they were having. And it truly is the saying of shoot your shot, like definitely do it. I am definitely a product of that quote. And so I DM'd her. But what I also did that I feel like a lot of people don't do, I emailed as well. It was just like, if you're not going to see me here, you're going to see me here. And if you don't see me here, you're going to see me there,
Yep.
So with that being said, Germany and I connected, and here we are in 2024. I truly, in the last 4 years, I've definitely have seen so much growth with my business. I truly believe that I have a gift of service. So not just, providing the service of styling, but also just my physical gift of partnership and growing and planting into people. And so yeah, I feel like I could elaborate even more,
Yeah.
but that's how I got started. And it
That's
truly
amazing.
That is.
My parents never forced me to be like a doctor, to never have a white collar job. And I love that. For me, it truly, I feel like I had that epiphany at a young age. So for me, it was just like, I just kept chipping at it. I just kept doing it. I never gave up. I definitely had my dark moments, but here I am today, you know, with you ladies, and I'm super grateful for the ups and downs and to be here to talk about it. So that's how I got started. I'm happy to elaborate later down the line on, like, you know, things you can do to get started if that is something that the people request. Now, if they request, then we'll have a part 2. But yeah, that's how I got started.
Love that.
I'm sure there'll be a part 2 already because woo, this is I'm looking forward to it. It just sounds like there's a pattern in your life of just showing up and being visible and being open and saying yes. And then when those doors open, you just step right through it and you just keep going. And then another door opens and you keep going. And
Or
if
she shoots
somebody
it.
tries to close it, you get in this email. Okay. So I just love that. That was cool to hear. I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm just curious, like it just starts to make me think, Nisha and Crystal, just about like our style preference. I just feel like all 5 of us have completely different styles, but it works for us and just it flows into how we're our authentic selves too, right? Like, so you sharing your story about your authentic self and that kind of sparked that journey for you. I even see that within our StartHERfive as well.
I definitely think we all have a different style.
We
For
do.
sure.
For sure.
And I think if you all see like our page and just some of the stuff that we're going to kind of roll out for Q2, you're definitely going to see that style. And I think for me, when I'm looking at it, I definitely can see how our style matches our personality in a sense. And I think that's actually kind of interesting. So, Nye, could you kind of talk about like how you've seen like personality show up in your style and like how did that kind of flow?
My personality through style. So for me, I've always,
Because you wear a lot of color, a lot of patterns,
I was gonna say the
glasses,
color.
hats.
Yes. It's
But
signature
if
pieces.
you know Ny'Eria, that is her personality. Like, I don't think I could pull it off, but sometimes she gets me to do bold statements. And then I kind of like it, but I'm like, I would have never picked that out. Like my first game day outfit for this season, she picked it out. And I was like, I would have never picked that, but it looks
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you for doing that and stretching her. Thank you.
Yeah, so for me, my personality shows up through definitely through color. And I was just having a conversation. I think I love to know like what people think of me. Not that I sit on it and fester and like change who I am, but I do love knowing because I know who I am, but it's just also nice to hear like what are other people feeling and seeing. And so my style is definitely like vibrant. And I think it's important to always wear like a conversation piece, especially if you're going into rooms where you might feel like, how did I get here? Or what am I going to do? So I feel like having those key pieces is like an energy booster to allow doors to open for you that you thought, you know, were going to be closed. So in short form, for me, it's like I said earlier, fashion has always been like an armor for me because I was of the larger size, if you will, compared to those in my age and grade bracket. And so I don't know. Yeah, just overall just having like the fun pieces again, like it was just a way for me to have people like draw people into me, if that makes sense, and allow just like room for conversation. And so I was able to do that through like the body of dress, honestly. One other thing that I would love to add is that my mom told me that my dad had like a sunglasses like obsession, and that's something that I just naturally adopted. I am blind as a bat. So like, yes, I'm wearing these fun frames, but I have on contacts. And so another thing, and I'll give my tips and tricks later, accessorizing is truly like the sprinkles on top. So, you know, I just have fun and truly, I don't know, I just feel like my dad kind of passed the torch with certain elements that I represent till to this day. Yeah.
And we love it. And we love it.
what's your philosophy on our fashions like evolving, or do at some point do we just own our styles? Like, what's the evolution from fashion? Because I know like obviously what we were wearing in high school, we ain't wearing now, hopefully. I mean, hopefully.
But some people are, right?
Some people are, and that is just fine. But I think I also think there's this element of giving yourself permission to start to try different things out. And but I also feel like people's personalities are people's personalities. So what's your opinion on that? Like, what's your perspective on owning your style versus the evolution of it?
Well, I'll say this. I would say yes. I do think that your wardrobe is ever changing. To your point, if you pull out your photo album and you look at the memories from 2012 or even 2020, who you were back then is not who you are now. And I guarantee it. And so we hope for the better, right? I believe not only do you change like physically, but you also change mentally. So our point of view on what our point of view typically is it changes, it's more refined. And so I think it's important to, if you're a late bloomer, I do believe that you should just go with the flow of experimenting truly. So again, like when we talk about showing up as our best selves through like tangible goods as far as like clothes and shoes, it's gonna look different than it did before. And I believe in truly like working with your body versus against it. So instead of like honing in on what you don't like, put the focus on what it is you do like. What there's a guy actually in the last year who went viral for asking about like about his outfit, like if it looked good or not. And the girls literally bashed oh boy, like, nah, like you not fly. And funny enough, like brands picked up on him. Like
It ain't fresh or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's crazy. I don't even know if he trademarked it or not. But my point is, what we might think is like out of style is in style for somebody else. So it truly is. Fashion is subjective. Like I said, if you're a late bloomer, truly just have fun and experimenting. It just, again, just have fun. There are no rules. So that's my piece on that.
I have a follow-up
I
question to
agree.
that. Yeah, I have a follow-up question. What if you haven't bloomed yet and you need that courage and confidence?
Especially in your 30s, because that's the theme, right? Somebody in our 30s trying to own what we look like, what we feel like, that confidence. Stop it, say well, all of us, right? Like how do you acknowledge that, or if you don't have that, to be able to just like own it, accept it, and just be, especially for our millennial girlies and guys.
Yeah, well, I think it starts by one, like recognizing that, right? And then I do think it's also a matter of like saying it out loud and sharing. So as you are today, right? So it's like, okay, how essentially you're asking like where do I begin? And I think those are the key things is one, acknowledging it, but also speaking it out loud. And then figuring out a game plan. Like, how can, like, we got to figure this out, right? We don't want to keep singing the same song. So, like, what do we do? Where do we go? If we can't go to Bell and O'Shea's, like, where can we go? So, you have like your channels,
Yes.
like your Pinterest, you have your Instagrams, you have all of these different channels. So, I think it's, if you are a late bloomer, just truly look at like, I love to people watch. So I feel like it's important to just be aware of your surroundings and putting yourself in environments that feel new so that you get that like piece of feeling inspired so you can start having fun and experimenting. And I feel like those are small things that you can start right now. But I do think, like I said at the beginning, one, acknowledging it, saying it out loud, sharing it with a friend, and then just getting out there and putting yourself in environments where you feel like you can just change like your point of view on being a late bloomer, and then just finding your muses or looking at different channels to get you started, because you can't keep singing the same tune. And 30 is still young. So, there's plenty of room to grow within like how you show up in your personal style. So I hope just saying that kind of gives you all like a little push to just do it, like Nike. Yeah, just do it.
I received that.
Too.
I love that.
I do as well. So you kind of alluded to this, especially with like fashion being experimental and just finding your fit. Now we get to actually put some specifics behind this and help our girlies who may not necessarily know where to look. Because it's easy for you to be like experiment, find your style, but like, where do I look? Because there's a lot of fashion places out there. TikTok now has a shop. I'm not gonna lie, I bought something from TikTok the other day. So again, like, where are our cost friendly sites, but also does name brand mean that you're fashionable? I would love to hear your take on that.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. For me, it's not what you wear. It truly is how you wear it.
Ooh.
I will say here that investing in like shapewear is key, no matter if you are a size 2 or a 22. I do think that the influence of like social media continuing to rise, it's important to remind women to shop within your means. And so you ask, like, what does that mean? So just because you see Lala Anthony in Bottega does not mean you need to go out and get it. You have TJ, you have Marshalls.
Putting it on Klarna.
I mean, hello, Klarna is truly Lelway. Y'all remember Lelway, or our parents
Like
do?
Kmart.
Yeah, exactly. At Kmart and Big Lots and all the things. So, like I'm saying, it's, you know, you don't have to go to Bottega. You can go to TJ Maxx and Marshalls and get what you need for a fraction of the cost. I also believe in like secondhand shopping. So pre-loved goods is like the best place to start if you're looking to wear designer goods as well. No shade to like Pretty Little Thing and Fashion Nova. I actually just purchased a pair of cargo jeans from Fashion Nova, and I said I would never shop there because I don't like the return policy. However, I got sucked in and I made my purchase. If it's what you can afford, then make it work. And how you make it work truly is like, it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. So just investing in like undergarments and accessories and things of that nature to really, it'll just elevate your look in seconds. So designer does not mean that you're getting tens across the boards from me. I'm sorry. Truly, however, I mean, you could, you know, have a white t-shirt, some jeans, and, you know, some boots, and it really is about like fit and it being like clean and simple. Clean and simple sometimes is like, it's, you know, it's giving comma on comma on comma. And then, you know, when you have all these labels, who's this? How do you know if it's real? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it a dupe or is it authentic? Like, how do you know? The girls who know, but my point is you don't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. And to be fair with how we show up, just the outer part is 20%. It's like the way you speak, the way you walk. That is also going to take you up to, you know, tens across the boards, right? So it's not always about like what you're wearing, but also just how you're showing up and like presenting yourself. And I do think just even like the way you walk also just does it for you, you know, like you don't have to have all the things.
It just made me feel better about my fake Louis in the closet.
It just made me feel better when people are trying to fashion stunt and you're like, I don't see how the pieces are coming together because the person who's wearing a plain white shirt and these jeans is killing it compared to Gucci. Like, it's just, yeah. So I completely agree. And when I was in college, I buzz cut my hair and I was so ashamed to come out and just like show my hair. My coach was like, put some earrings in your ear and mascara and you're good. And ever since then, when you talk about the simple, I was like, it really is about confidence because you can literally just be wearing a trash bag and still rock it because of the confidence. Yeah.
So can you tell me, because I'm a thrift store girl, I love me a Goodwill. I love Salvation. Like I find some really good stuff in there, but I know everybody is not like, some people are like, I don't know if I like, you know, going through, I guess it's overwhelming for people to go through the thrift store because it's a lot to sort through. But what are some like, I guess, cost efficient or like places that you think are reasonable that you could still find nice stuff, but then I'm not like breaking all of my pockets at all?
Okay.
You know?
Yes. So I will give y'all my top 5, but I'm gonna give y'all 6 because I love y'all.
Thank you.
So number 1 is gonna be ASOS. ASOS, I'm sure we all have heard of. ASOS is that girl because she's a one-stop shop. Like you can get your shoes, you can get your bag, get your accessories, you can get your dress for the wedding, you can get your you know, your club fit, you can get your vacation looks off, you can get your everyday looks and your work attire. So ASOS is going to be number 1 for me. Number 2, and then the last 4 are gonna be, you may be familiar with these brands or stores. Number 2 is gonna be Anthropologie. 3 is gonna be Mango. 4 is River Island. River Island is a UK brand, if I'm correct, which is similar to like somewhat of a Zara, if you will.
Okay.
Number 5 is going to be Aritzia. Aritzia is that place for like your elevated basics, where you can get athleisure. Again, you can, the girl who's on the go, travel, work, all of your things. Again, remember I said shop within your means. So the one that cost friendly would probably be ASOS, because you can definitely find things that are $25, and then you might find something that might be like $150 or $200. But again, the more you add to the basket, the bigger your cost is going to be. So just be mindful of that, right? And then the last one is going to be for the department store girlies who like to go to the mall still, right? Because sometimes online shopping could be very difficult to navigate and not so fun because you can't touch and feel and try on these things. The last one is going to be Nordstrom. And that is going
That's
to
my store.
Yeah, Nordstrom really caters to the high-low girls. You have, what is it, Topshop, you have ASOS is also in stores now. I don't know if everyone knows that, but certain Nordstroms will carry ASOS in stores, so definitely check that out. You have your designer goods and you have your ready to wear for all shapes and sizes and family members. Another thing about Nordstrom is the return policy. So that's why Nordstrom is number 6 for me, because you get all of your things. You can have this item for a year, and if something happens, they are 99.9% open and willing to take it back and make it work for you. So I think it's really important, no matter where you shop, if you are someone who is going to invest in your pieces so you have a little bit more funds to spend, think about like the cost per wear. Can you see yourself wearing this more than 3 ways? If you can, then I say it's an item worth investing and purchasing. Whereas, for example, Fashion Nova, like I said, I bought a pair of cargo jeans. I do feel like I'm going to be able to wear them a lot, but then when you think about the wear and tear when you wash and how you care, there might be some shrinkage involved, and I can't return that back. But if I have that situation at Nordstrom, I can, 9 times out of 10, they'll be able to help me. So those would be my top 6, with ASOS being your one-stop shop, and then Nordstrom also being a one-stop shop, but caters to more of if you have more of a discretionary fund to spend.
Those are good. Making me want to shop right now.
Right.
Well, I'm just going to add it in there. If you're ever stressing on shopping, that's where I come in, and I'm happy to share where you can find me and all those things at the end. But to be honest, Stylist is definitely what did Scott Louis say, a rich bitch sport. However, it is, but that's where you have to be transparent. If that's something that you're like, okay, I've tried asking my homegirls, they're not giving me much. I've been looking on Instagram, I've been looking on Pinterest. I need someone to come in and fix my life. Like, what is her name? Ayana. You have me, right? And other mini stylists out there for sure. But that's where you just have to share your transparency on what it is you're looking for and your budget. It's okay to share your budget, and whether they can work with it or not is one thing. But I do feel like styling is a luxury service, but the cost is different. So don't be afraid to inquire with one. And
I think that was like a good thing to say too, Nye, because when you think about it, right, all of us at some point we're thinking about like our next steps, right? And like how you show up in like these corporate spaces. And at the end of the day, I know my mom used to say like dress for the job you want and not the job you have. So that's where you come in, right? Like you may not fully be confident in that style, but you can still make it your own. But then also when people see you, they see manager, they see director, they see vice president, they see senior VP, and you're like, I'm not there, but if I'm gonna be somewhere, I need to be the best one in the room so that they think that I'm the boss and I'm the leader. And you're like, nope, I'm just here. But they naturally attract to the person who's well dressed, who's well put together. So I do think that was a good little a good thing to like let the people know, because I think sometimes people forget like it is a luxury, but it's an investment that's worth if you're trying to get to those levels.
I agree. And then one thing I also want to add, you mentioned about like showing up in the workplace, not for the job you have, but the job you want. But also too, if you are in your single girl era,
like I always say,
yeah, I recently have been just doing some self-work and like checking like, okay, Ny'Eria, when we are showing up in these co-ed environments, like what are we exuding? Like, are we approachable? Like, are we always wearing black? Are we always crossing our arms? Are we on our phone? So those are
That's
some
a
of
good
the
one.
things to think about. Those are some of the things to think about, because it's like you want to dress, not to say we're out there looking for our husbands, but it's just like I'm the date. I'm the date. So how do I look being out there? So I think it's important, not only are we looking at it in the workplace, but also in our personal lives when it comes to the things that we want, and just doing like a self-check. You know.
Can I add in that this is vulnerable for those who are in a relationship, that are engaged, that are married? I'm gonna get vulnerable here, that my fiance and I recently, like, we do check-ins and stuff, and there was a sermon at church one Sunday, and we were just talking about like men's needs and women's needs, and one of the conversations was like keeping things fresh, but then also just continuing to stay attracted to each other, and like how that is continuing to like evolve and to try new things and to like take care of yourself, like not even just you have to wear makeup every day or you have to be dressed to the nines every day, but like taking care of yourself. And so this conversation is very helpful, because taking care of your style and just keeping things fresh can be really beneficial too, just based off of some conversations even in premarital counseling. It's been interesting, but yeah, keeping it fresh and having style in a relationship, it would be helpful as well.
For sure.
Also, I want to add this. I know we were talking about, looking good and always looking nice. I think back in the day, we had a different definition of what sexy looks like. Like sexy always is like wearing short skirts or showing a little, a little something, but it doesn't always have to be like sexy. Could be, like you said, like how you present yourself, how you're approachable. Yesterday, I had on a black bodysuit, and I had bought these really cute green overalls from Shein. I have not seen overalls in the longest time, but I just, for some reason, I'm like, I'm gonna bring this back. I want to do it. And I wore green overalls with this black shirt and some brown and black Jordans. And I got so many compliments. And a guy told me, he was like, "God, you look sexy in them overalls." And they were not tight fitted. I wasn't showing anything. Like I was literally wearing a black bodysuit, long sleeve, nothing showing, with a pair of green overalls. And he was like, "Wow, you got sex appeal. Like, you look sexy." And I was like, whoa. So sexy and attractive doesn't always have to be you showing skin in what you're wearing, but it's how you wear it, how you own it, and not being afraid to, be outside the norm. Because I have not seen overalls in a long time, but I said, I'm bringing these things back.
Okay, she said, "Oh, you like these? I'm wearing them again and again and again."
Right, and I'm about to go. I'm about to buy them in different colors because but just because I felt good. Like I felt comfortable. I felt nice. I felt like I looked good, and I feel like if you give off kind of that vibe, no matter whether you're at work or whether you're walking down the street or at Trader Joe's, like I think it still kind of shows, So I like how you said that.
I want to add on to that. Modest fashion, there's a way to still, like, sexy doesn't mean revealing. I agree. And so I feel like modest fashion is something that I'm seeing a lot of on the internet, and I'm here for it. I definitely feel like for me, my personal style, I love like colors and prints and patterns, but I'm not the girl who's wearing like the bodycon dress unless the occasion calls for it. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I feel like just read the room. That's another tip. I'm giving y'all tips y'all not even asking for.
Give it.
It truly is like read the room, but also wear what's comfortable, because again, it's how you walk in it, the energy you exude. People are going to pick up on that. And so, Grace, kudos to you. Definitely buy more of the overalls and send the link, because I want that same thing too.
Me too. I want to be called sexy.
And your cargo overalls, I'm telling you, it is going to make a comeback, okay? They're coming back.
Well, Nye, this has been so good. So good. I have so many notes over here. I need to type it up after this. But just if you could summarize maybe top 3 quick tips, like just to sum it all up, like your top 3, what are we leaving with? What should the tribe know? How would you summarize your top 3 tips?
Okay, I'm gonna, because they're short and sweet and straight to the point. So I'm gonna give you 5. Work with your body and not against it. So embrace the now. Buy things that fit now. Invest in shapewear and accessories. 3, experiment if you are a late bloomer. It's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. And that's just a life lesson, right? So experiment if you are a late bloomer. 4, shop within your means. And then 5, have fun. Have fun. That's it.
I love that.
Dude.
And I really appreciate you like spending time and sharing with us, because I do feel like I keep you close to my chest and don't want to share. But I think it's really good for people to just know what you do, how you can help. And just, I think as we kind of like wrap it up, can you tell the people how they can follow you, your website, your Instagram?
So for continuity and ease, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, I think even Pinterest, at Ny'Eria Jackson. So that's Ny'Eria, last name Jackson. If you don't know how to spell Jackson, there's a problem. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Go like, comment, and subscribe. And then my website is also the same, Ny'EriaJackson.com. My email is jacksonnyeria@gmail.com. So again, when you hear my name, I'm only one of one, the only one. Come on, Beyonce.
Come on, B.
Hey.
That's another conversation for another day. But yeah, that's where you can find me. This has been such a pleasure. The nerves they were never here. This feels like home. I'm so excited, like, to be hosted, if you will, in this way. And to close out my 20s, I will be 30 in less than a month.
Welcome.
Gang, May 2nd, cash at me, all the things. But yes, this has been like perfect time. And so this conversation, highlight of Q2, okay? Because 1% better. I love this.
Love that.
Yeah.
I also need you to close out your YouTube page the way you opened up your YouTube page.
Yes.
Close us out. Bring us home.
Yeah.
Because I needed that. I like the way you opened it up. So how would you close us?
Okay. Well, you all, it's been real. It is, what is it? Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
Happy Thursday, you guys. We will see you all the next time. If you want part 2, comment below and let us know what your favorite part of the segment was. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out.